Up on YouTube. All right, YouTube. Live on YouTube, and we are ready to go. All right, let's get this thing started. First up, we need to approve the minutes from February 9th and 23rd.
I did not see, I was missing a page on the 23rd one. Did you guys get that one?
Pat, I emailed it after I saw your email. I think when I forwarded it to the office, because I'm working at home today, they didn't realize to put it. So I emailed it over to all of you.
Okay, I'm looking at it now.
Pat, I like that you're our minutes guy.
Don't put that much faith in me. That's just
All faith in the world in you.
I'm with you. I kind of glance at him. I don't, he gets the spelling and everything.
Yeah, well, you done the job.
20 years of having that beat into me.
You look good to me.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written. I didn't see anything.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Next up is authorization of the payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the payment of the bills.
Second.
All right. Oh, here's Kevin coming in. That's good. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, good job.
Oh, I did have one question on that real quick. I apologize for interrupting you. Tanya, did you get the questions you had with the grid billing questions as far as the lights are concerned, figured out?
On how they're not billing us or for the rebates subsequently.
I think more so, I think the question was with the rebates and how that worked.
Yeah, we have to wait till you purchase them, and the spreadsheet has to be filled in that I sent.
Mhm.
So Andrew's going to be filling all that in because it also will help with our climate smart getting to be silver
Okay.
and stuff like that. So I have the spreadsheet from David Hess, and really it starts when we start buying them and when we work with the contractors when they put them in.
Okay.
Big shock, we're behind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to NIPA and see what's going on. They were supposed to have already dropped off the materials.
All right.
Hal, if you're contacting NIPA, I've checked up on the invoice that's outstanding from them with the purchase of them, and they haven't responded to me.
Okay. Yeah, they're swamped is the problem.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. If
No, I
just if
know.
you're
It's just,
checking.
it's frustrating because, they've missed every deadline they've ever given us, but I know that they are busy. So, okay. Next up is to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a
When-
motion that we approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
And I just want to thank Tanya for all the work she's doing on a lot of the minutia, keeping us up to date.
Minutia. Yeah, there's a lot of minutia.
It's my $5 word for the day.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Next up, code report.
I'll make a motion to accept as written.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, dog control.
I make a motion that we accept the dog control report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
DPW. Scrolling. Phil, do you know if Mike Gagliotti got his question answered about how we wanted the signs mounted?
Yeah, I think so. Just, there was the caps that go on the 4x4s on top.
Right.
He called some, they're way too big, so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that.
Okay.
So he got back a hold of them, I do believe, or somebody's gonna get back a hold of them and figure out something.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
Or were they made for like a 6-inch post?
Well, they're actually like 4x4. There's true 4-inch by
True
4-inch, and the 4x4 is actually only 3.5 inches, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's quite the gap all the way around it, and it's solid metal or something like cast metal.
Sounds like a standard mistake. The ones I get at Lowe's for my deck railing, they're always too big too.
Too big for it too, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Phil, or Phil, you have anything else to add?
Nope, I'm good right now. Thank you.
I make a motion that we accept the streets and parks report as written.
Second. Go ahead.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
I'm saving my question for the water department.
Oh, all right. Fire departments. Balin. Winding down in his.
45 days. Thank you very much.
But
Not
who's
that you're
counting?
That, you didn't want to be rid of us that badly?
You're gonna miss us, Malin.
I'm gonna answer that. All right. Anybody, you have anything else to add to this, Malin, or anybody have?
I
any
don't believe so, folks, unless you have any questions.
I just know you guys have started, you and the water department, or the water department has started putting the flags on for the fire hydrants.
Yes, we talked to Buzz the other day in the department head meeting. I haven't had a chance yet with other things going on to get up there and grab some, but we'll try to do that and get some of our folks maybe on the weekend or something to, but if you want, if we can get them ahead of time. So,
Hey, do you guys lock the, I don't know what you call it, the candidate application or candidate process yet?
we had,
Is it locked now?
tonight is the last night for anybody to make any nominations. It would have been last night, except for last week, on Monday night when my company had our meeting, Cortland had a house fire. And
Oh,
we sent a crew of people down there, so we never got to have our meeting. We were just finishing our training, so
okay.
the meeting is tonight. And then after that, the nominating committee is meeting tomorrow night to finalize, if everybody's got the necessary qualifications and things to run for the positions that they've been nominated for.
Is that something that you'll make public or available to us before the actual election? So we just have it to see who's nominated, just out of curiosity.
We can, I believe we did that last year, if
I
I'm
think we
not
did. Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah. Yep.
All right, yeah, when you can, I'd just be curious.
Okay. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yep.
All right. Do we have a motion on the fire report?
Make a motion for Kevin.
Kevin motion, Tim seconded.
There you go.
There you
All in
go.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, police department. Busy Bob Pittman. He's been doing a lot
Yeah.
coming up.
I was impressed with his 203 report that he finished.
It's fantastic.
Well, I'm not going to take all the credit for that. Andrew formatted that. That's why it looks so nice. So
Well,
He did a
Andrew's gonna be the mayor someday. We can
you
talk
did
him
a
into
phenomenal
it.
job. So
Andrew was going to be the governor someday. Isn't that?
So that's possible too.
why are you knocking the kid?
Oh, no, we don't want him to do any of that bad stuff, only the good stuff.
I want him to be president.
There you go. He could do that too. Get started early, you'll do fine.
So Chief, if someone files for unemployment in somebody else's name, what can you do?
Basically, what we have to do is we take the initial report, we give them some guidance on how to contact the Federal Trade Commission. And also try to help them check and do a credit history check, make sure there's no accounts open, other accounts or anything else open in their names.
Okay.
So it's getting more and more common. I mean, we've only had a handful, but I know the county and the city and I believe the state's had quite a few. So
Chief, you started looking into replacing your vehicle yet?
I actually went over and test drove one the other day just to get an idea. So
Yeah. When the tow truck came, what did you think?
no, I wasn't driving a Ford. I mean, I was driving a Chevy. We did pass a Ford on the side of the road. It's a nice, the one I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's nice. I just want to, take a test drive of the Equinox and see if, see what the difference is, even though my wife owns one, it's just, see what you're in the middle like better. So I had, the door to the front door of the police department. I talked to Bob Beard today. He's going to come over, that key entry is really on its last legs. We have to struggle with it to lock the door. So getting that key fob system is it's my next mission here. So
And that is transferable to wherever.
Yep.
If you guys move. Okay.
Yep. So
All right.
that's one of the main things I asked him. So I'd like to get that moving forward. One thing it's not in the report over the weekend, the guys, on Sunday, Tim Rudenberg and joined the city and the county and Ithaca. They were over to Greek Peak for the Special Olympics, handed out awards to the athletes.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Great.
Pretty good. Yeah. So I made sure I passed the pictures on to Don so we get in the Homer News.
Great.
So
Chief, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. So we got 2 automatic defibrillators from Mr. and Mrs. Robert Demore from both Fabius.
yes, and that's a typo in my report. It's not Fabius. It's M at the end. I just noticed it.
Yeah.
Mr. Demore is the one that suffered the heart attack there at the local restaurant for Christmas, and they were so grateful to the officers. They wanted to make a donation to the police department. The donation was in the form of 2 automatic defibrillators, which I think is great. So
Yeah, that's great.
Geez, I thought we had them.
we do. We have one. And they,
Okay.
Yep, they purchased us 2. So theoretically, we could put one in each of the patrol cars.
Oh, that'd be
I
great.
recommend that we do that.
Yeah.
What are they, $5,000 or something?
I don't think they were that much. I didn't see the receipt on how much they paid.
Well, think about it and let us know, and so we can bring it up and talk
Yeah,
about it in the
I think we should
future.
do that.
I think that's a great idea to have one in
And it
all
is-
your vehicles,
Yeah, 'cause
because you're a first responder. I know
Yeah,
the
'cause
fire department has them.
right now, the one that we do have, we rotate it from in and out of the vehicle every day. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, be good to have one in each car so that
Right.
we have them. So if we
Bob,
have an officer out working traffic, They can, they'll have one at their disposal too. And Malin, I don't know if it's going to be compatible with yours.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if it's not the same as the one that you got with us, then you guys are gonna have to look at your own batteries, your own pads and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. That's why when we originally talked about that one, so that yours was compatible with everything that we had and we keep track of the pads and the batteries and
and the way I look at it, it's a donation, so it is what it is, but we'll,
Yep.
I was actually going to go down and meet up with Mike Keegan to go through it to see what we need, so. But I mean, it came with some pads and that sort of stuff, but
The other thing I wanted to highlight off your report, Chief, was, so the EO 203 has been going on, and you met 4 times to do your presentation, February 15th, the 23rd, March 3rd, and last night. We want to thank you for doing those presentations to those groups.
it's, it was actually pretty good talking with the people and letting them know what we have to offer. As far as the police department, a lot of people weren't aware of that. A lot of things that we do provide service wise.
And then my last question, Chief, for you was, what is the Wishing Well Wellness Center?
So it's, actually, I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like the Salvation Army, but it's it's through Catholic Charities. So they help, they help out the homeless and people with emotional problems, mental problems. But it's affiliated through Catholic Charities. And that's that last line in my report. Want to recognize Homerman and Boys. They did a donation to the Wishing Well Center there with clothes, and that'll help them out and help a lot of people out around in the community that they don't have clothes and stuff to keep themselves warm.
I make a motion that we accept the Homer Police Department report.
Second.
Question, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Right.
All
Thanks,
right,
chief.
he's not done yet. We're talking about the 203 thing. Pat kind of teased it out there, but that's coming up. All right, Rec. I know Zach is not on tonight, but he's got his report, and we'll just talk about a few things. Softball's coming soon. They're continuing to partner with the Phillips Free Library for events and outdoor book readings. We are going to have concerts on the green this year.
Yay.
We will announce the lineup when it's ready. And no Easter egg hunt, but the Homer Fire Department, Homer Police Department, and the Easter Bunny will be making another appearance and tour through the village like they did last year, which really was fantastic and fantastic timing. So I know people loved it. So I look forward to that again this year. All right.
Hal, we also heard back from Little League today, and they definitely are continuing again this year.
Okay.
We'll have that at the next board meeting so they can get on the field when they need.
Good. We have a motion to accept the rec report.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to approve the rec as written.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I did have a question. I see he's got a science thing going on with Steve Williams on the 20th and the 27th of March. Do we just go to the Phillips Library for the information on that? Does anybody know?
I don't believe so. No, I don't think it's directly through the library. So
Okay.
we'll have to find out about that.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Water and sewer. Here you go, Pat. You got a question for Buzz.
Oh, I was gonna let Buzz go first, and then I was just gonna ask how the heck if people get a full T-shirt and or a mop head down the drain?
I don't know, but people should watch what they throw down there because we wind up seeing it sooner or later.
It's not a competition, people. We're not trying to.
And just because you put it down the toilet doesn't mean it's gone forever.
Yeah,
That's right.
that was the only thing I had for you, Buzz.
That's it. Oh, I was waiting for more questions.
Just-
All right. Anybody have anything else for Buzz?
I'll make a motion, we accept this report as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. All right. Privilege of the floor. Once, twice, thrice. Let me quick check YouTube and see if anybody has anything that they're going to say. No comments on YouTube. All right. Next up, the sewer project amendments. Barton and Legudis. You have the floor.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me? All right. Can I share my screen if that's okay?
Sure. I think, let's see if I have to give you permission. Let's see. Oh, I guess it's not. There you go.
Can you guys see that?
We can.
Okay. So I think just continuing the conversation we've had the past few months, we're in a great position on the sewer project with the work we've had planned complete. We have, a very healthy contingency given that low bid, as you guys all know. So the thought is, what do we do with that extra money? The obvious thing is to, do some work on the pump stations. So this past summer, we put together that tech memo just to try to give the board some guidance as to, order of magnitude costs. And then what we have prepared now is a more formal version of that tech memo, what we're calling a addendum to the preliminary engineering report. This would be compliant with the funding agency's requirements. So if we want to ask for more money from them, or even just proceed with this work, we needed this document in place. Really, the next formal step that we need is to, figure out what project we want. I think last time we talked, we were looking towards all pump stations, but really the formal action for that for the board is a bond resolution, and that would be prepared by a bond counsel, authorizing additional funds if that's what we're looking to do. From that, we would go back to the funding agency and amend our financing application, essentially asking for more money from them. Keeping in mind we have a 0% loan. So I'm just going to jump to a couple highlights on this addendum. The first thing here is just roughly our list of pump stations, and then the main equipment, the pumps, the controls, and as you can see here, pretty much everything's in red with the exception of Clinton Street, which Buzz and his guys did a great job rehabbing about 5 years ago. The most concerning probably is the main village pump station pushing 50 years old. When we do like an asset assessment of pumps and controls in general, really you're looking at about a 15 to 20 year useful life is the term that we would plan for. And anything past that, is just bonus. So, all these stations, with the exception of Clinton Street, meet and exceed that duration. Again, I think a testament to Buzz and his guys for their upkeep. But looking towards the future, planning for the next 30 years, certainly we need to do something, with these other stations at some point. And the current financing might, that we have available to us, might be the right time. So I'm going to jump again. And I know this is going to be a big set of numbers here, but what we tried to do was break out each pump station with the exception of Clinton. We assign cost to it. There's a detailed estimate for every one of these, but then break it down to, at that 0% interest rate that we have available to us. which is fantastic. What's the cost, the end user cost, for a village taxpayer? And really, you're seeing about $7.50 per year per pump station, and then Main Village Pump Station about $50 per year. We add all that up, and you're looking at an increase. Let's just call it $100, per year if we were to do everything. I just want to know, this was Hal's point, which was a very good one. I think at the last meeting I attended, this 0% interest rate, it's a huge saver. It's kind of equivalent to, if I ran these numbers at like a 3% interest rate, you're going to save about $2 million over the life of a 30-year loan, having 0%. And if I plugged in 3%, this annual user cost would jump up to about $150 per year. So we're looking at about a 30% savings, for the end user, if we were to do everything. And really that just kind of circles it back to the board as to, how much of this do we want to proceed with? We have about, I believe, 900,000 in remaining contingency from the current authorization. We're looking at, to do everything, about 4.4 million. That would include that 900,000 in contingency.
So
Taylor, is the 140,450 what we would pay per year back on the 30-year?
Yes, that would be your loan repayment. And then, we took your number of units, EDUs, zoom in here a little bit. And then you divide the 140,000 by your 1458 units. That gets you to your $96 per year.
I personally like it. We need to upgrade our water system.
it's a big chunk of change, but it's 0%. It's free.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old pump, really? What are we thinking?
I have a question for either Taylor or Buzz. So if we had a pump failure, like right now, what would be an estimated cost to repair, replace, and the impact on our system?
So a single pump?
Say the North Main pump just went.
Oh, right by my place? Is that the one? Okay.
You know, our 50, the one that's 50 years old.
That's the Main Village pump station.
Or the Main Village pump station.
That's the 70 horsepower motor.
What if that one just goes kaput? What's the impact?
Yeah, if you were to replace a single pump, the one nice thing is we do have redundant pumps. So it's not like a pump fails and you know, there's an overflow. So we have backup pumps, which is great. But to replace a single pump, you know, let's pick on the main pump station because that's the biggest one. You know, you're looking at I would say $50,000 to $50,000 cost just to replace a single pump.
And Taylor, the way this is laid out right now with the total project and everything, this is complete rebuild on each station.
Yeah, so for the main pump station, you know, that has a building that has some bar screens. You know, certainly we're gonna, you know, the structure itself is in good condition. We might look to replace the roof. But the other things that we have incorporated in there is replacement of the generator. So you have backup, emergency power, replacement of all the electrical equipment that is outdated, all of the controls that is outdated. You know, some of your miscellaneous metals that are, you know, frankly rotted out at this point. So we're going to keep, you know, what makes sense to keep, which is the shell of the building, and then kind of replace all of the internal components, mechanical and electrical.
So are these electric pumps, or are
Yes.
they? Yeah. So I have to think, right, that we're going to be able to bring in some much more efficient pumps than the ones that are there. Is that?
I think so. So, you know, nowadays, I don't know if you guys have heard of something called like a variable frequency drive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, VFD. So that's a very common, you know, cost-effective electrical motor starter that we use. Those weren't really available 50 years ago. And having that VFD, what's nice is you can control the pump speed, you know, based on influent flows, and in turn that relates to you know, efficiencies that you're talking about, Hal.
Because I think we can also, you know, sort of piggyback this on to our quest to get silver status for the Climate Smart, because this has got to, if we replace all these pumps, be a significant reduction in energy consumption for the village, which should also save us some utility cost as well, I would think. So,
Yeah, that's usually one of the things that they'll sometimes look at, is those VFDs, particularly on the bigger pumps at, you know, the main pump station. The smaller pumps that are kind of scattered throughout, you know, we can throw drives on those just because they're nice to have. They're not too expensive anymore, but they're small horsepower pumps. We're not going to see a huge savings there. I think the electrical savings will be more at the main pump station.
right.
Main pump station was $28,000 a year in electrical for a 70 horsepower pump. So if you can cut that down, that's savings that would offset some of the cost on
Yeah.
this. So I highly recommend we do this.
I think so too.
Hey Buzz, I know you've had to replace some parts before. Are you having difficulty getting parts on some of our older systems?
Well, not so much on the pumps themselves, but the controls. The control parts are, some of them are pretty old, you know, like you say, 20 years, 25 years. Technology has changed so much that we can't get parts for them. So luckily, we have Larry Housel, who has worked on those things so long that he kind of can get those things back together for us. So that works out good for us.
So
If we were to do the whole shot, what kind of a increase in taxes are we looking? Does anybody have that thought yet?
well, it wouldn't be tax increase. It would be an increase in user cost, end user cost for the residents. So it'd be just under $100 a year is what they came up with.
Okay, that's what that figure represents.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, our tanks are going to go off in 2 years, and right now that's a $20 surcharge. So that's per quarter. So this would be basically taken over
Yeah.
the tank. So it really is not going to affect everybody, and it's good for 50 years probably. So yeah, it needs to be done. Remember, your water systems are only good for 70 to 110 years, depending on how acidic your soil is. And ours has been in there since the 1960s. So we're going to need to have monies to replace pipes and all that stuff sometime in the future. I know Buzz is working on pieces and parts. We save, I think, $15,000 a year in electric costs just by fixing that pipe that went under 281. So the motor didn't run. Remember, it's a 70 horsepower, you know, KVAs. That's a lot of electricity. And he was pumping 800 to 900,000 gallons a day, and then it dropped down to 400. So if you're saving 500,000 gallons a day because it was leaking under that road, you've saved a lot of money. So having these new pumps, it's just good for the future. It's something we have to do. It's not like we're trying to screw our public with extra cost. It's just, it needs to be done for infrastructure. It's stuff they get back, and reliability and quality of water. So it's really a good thing. So we need to research this a little more and have these guys.
It has to be done, and if we, it's going to have to be done at some point in the near future. And if we don't do it when it's 0% interest, when are we going to do it?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Crazy.
I think we should do it.
How do we get things started?
Yeah.
I think we have, haven't we?
Well, I think we just would need to
Politically.
vote to get Tanya started on getting a new bond resolution going, right? And ban and all that stuff.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Get her done.
There's no good time for this, so at least while we have the 0%, this is
Right.
the opportunity. Because if we don't do it with the 0%, we wait and we get stuck with
$2 million more.
even if it's a 1.5 or a 2%, we're instilling additional costs
That
we
are
could have
unnecessary.
that we could have avoided.
Yeah, money we don't need to spend.
Plus, we might not be able to leverage that extra, the leftover 900,000 properly. So, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Unanimous. Okay.
There you go, Buzz.
Okay.
You got lots of new work, huh?
Oh. That's kind of like when they say that, it's like an old car, you can only keep fixing them up so long, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is going to be a good thing for the village. I believe it.
Hal, if I could just talk to the schedule a little bit real quick.
Sure.
So moving forward, the next step is that bond resolution, as we just mentioned. What I'm going to suggest is that I think last summer we were talking about doing some of this work through Green Mountains contract, just because we had them on board already.
Yep.
But given that, my mind, I thought we were going to do like a few stations and it would be okay. Given we're looking at a much bigger project, I'm going to suggest that we go back out to bid again, because, this isn't really Green Mountain's forte, pump station rehab. They do the mains and the manholes, but I want to make sure we have a, qualified contractor, as the prime, and
Yep.
we get competitive costs for that.
Good idea.
So the schedule I'm kind of looking at here is, this spring we'll do the bond resolution that has some, waiting periods, as you guys know. And then once that is in place, we'll be doing survey this summer, then jumping into design late summer, early fall. Finish that up, get it out to regulatory review, for DEC and EFC, towards the end of the year. And then we'd be bidding this project, generally around this time next year, in construction, summer 2022.
Sounds good. That sounds good. All right.
Okay, well, thanks again for having us tonight. Appreciate it.
Yep. Before you go, Jamie or Don, do you guys have any questions for Bartlett and Lagudas on these projects before we let them go? Because you're going to get better answers out of them than you will out of me.
No, at this point, I don't have anything. If we come up with something, I'll get a hold of Taylor, get some contact information from him.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, next up, it says approved police, our EO 203. That's jumping the gun. This is presenting it formally to the public. And so they will have between now and our next board meeting to comment or anything like that. But, we did a survey of the entire village, so we have a pretty good understanding of, how people view the police department. We actually surveyed twice as many people as the city of Cortland did. So pretty comprehensive. The report looks fantastic. Have you guys all seen it? I'm not sure if we've posted it to the website yet or not, but if we haven't, we will do that tomorrow. But it includes the survey response data from both the community members or the residents and also the students at the high school that we surveyed. So we've been working on this since June of last year. And Chief Pittman has been fantastic through all of this. As Pat noted, he gave four presentations, formal presentations on this. And we've gotten nothing but kudos and accolades, including from the organizers of Cortland County's Black Lives Matter group, who have said that they wished all departments operated the way the Village of Homer did. So Can't get any better praise than that.
Nope.
So,
And I think we've got hard copies at the village office too, if residents want to stop up and take a look there.
So is the data not available publicly yet? We're discussing releasing it tomorrow, you said?
the survey, it is, I don't think we put it on the website, but we can email it to you tonight.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Tanya, if you're home at your computer, could you, or Chief Pittman, could you fire it off to Jamie right now?
Yeah, I'll send it over to you. There's a couple slight typos in one of the reports, so I'm gonna adjust them and I'll email it now.
Okay,
Great. Thank you.
perfect. So the next step is obviously, let the comment period go for a week or so. And if we don't hear anything, then we'll assume it's good and we'll vote on it formally at our next board meeting at the end of March. Chief, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, sir, I don't. It's been a long process.
It has been a long process. Yes, it has.
Was the survey created via the town of Homer or via the police department, or was it similar to how Cortland City did it?
We got the survey questions from, Chief, you got it from a national organization, correct?
Actually, I got it from, I'm thinking it was the U.S. Department of Justice. It was a generic survey that I'd located, and it a lot of the questions, I don't want to call it generic, but they fit our need for our village. So it's, if you want a copy of that, I can email you a copy in the morning.
Yeah,
of
sure.
where I obtained it from. So,
Okay. The copy. Oh, I just got the.
yeah, and it's,
Got it.
I'm pretty sure we put right in the, if you look in there for the survey, you will see that where we obtained it from, it's listed right in there.
Okay. Oh no, that was a different email. I'll take a look at it when it comes through, and I'm sure I'll have some follow-up questions tomorrow about it as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
The,
all of the survey questions are in here. Let's see.
I think I'm pretty certain we gave credit where we obtained the survey from. I'm almost certain we did.
All
You
right.
did. It's in Appendix A. The surveys were developed by the United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, and with the support of ICF, International Law Enforcement Experts.
And the student survey, it's some questions that I got together with the school superintendent. It's only really five questions to the students and 5 demographic questions. But just trying to gauge on how the students feel safe with the officers, and if the officers are approachable. But that's in there as well in the appendix.
And were the results kind of what you had expected?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Last 5 years in the village, working in the village, it's everybody, I won't say everybody, but a majority of the people in the village really support the police department. We're on a lot of us are on a first name basis with the residents, and, they can come into the police department anytime and talk with me or an officer. So, I mean, it's, they support us, and we support the residents. So, I mean, we're all there in this together.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hal, I don't know if this is I do want to mention that I think we should do something to for
Right.
Batabile, who
Yep.
is the mediator for the group.
Yes.
For those that aren't aware, Hal put together a working group and asked Batable, and I'm gonna mispronounce her last name because I have to write it down. Who it was like herding cats,
Yeah.
and she managed to do it and keep us on track. Without her, both us and I know the city would not have as good a product as we do have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would like to, she did it pro bono for us, and basically she estimated she would have charged around $12,000 to do this facilitation process. I mean, you think about it, it was pretty much every Saturday since June we've been working on this. So I would like to get her some sort of a gift card from the Village of Homer as a thanks, since, you know, she did all of this work for us in the city and, you know, somewhat the county for free. So we have an awards line in our budget. And I'm thinking I'd like to get her like a $250 gift card somewhere.
I'll second that.
All right, we'll figure out where, I think it's something somewhere down. She lives down in Binghamton, so we'll get something done.
Speedies.
$250 with the Speedies
Hey, that's what I'd want.
all at once. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll get her a couple different things or something. You know, it actually would be nice. Now I'm thinking about it. It would be nice to put together a nice, with a gift card, but a nice big basket of like Cortland products. You know, give me our Coffee Mania coffee and Trinity, something from Trinity Valley. You know, all products that come from here, from this area.
I bet the Chamber of Commerce already has a list that would probably fit that perfectly. And if they don't, they should.
That's a good idea. All right. So we'll look
Hey,
into that.
yeah.
So as long as we have authorization to spend $250, then we can, you know, figure out how we do it. So,
Well, you made the motion. Ed seconded. All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
all right, there we go. Thanks, Chief.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good
Aye,
night.
Chief.
Good night, Chief.
All right, next up, we need to approve the zoning board of appeals members' requirements and eligibility.
I make a motion that we accept the eligibility and training requirements as outlined for the ZBA.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Ditto, we need to do for the planning board.
I make a motion that we accept the planning board members' requirements and eligibility as outlined.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, next up, looks like we approve moving $1,500 in leftover equipment funds over to municipal property to purchase a laptop for Chief Pittman. His is quite old. I think it's the oldest laptop in the village right now. So we have a
Motion.
Oh, okay.
I'll second it.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. You're good.
Could
All
we donate the old one after it's cleaned up to the Historical Society or something like that?
Sure.
And wait, guys. He wanted to use it for Quentin to teach the SROs and
Perfect.
some other things.
Oh,
Perfect, sorry. No, do that.
for a second, I thought you meant he wanted to use the 1,500 instead for something else. I was in the, all right, next up, we need to approve the budget adjustments.
I went over them, they look okay to me. I'll
Yep.
make the motion.
I'll make a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Okay. Update on Route 11. Pat, do you want to do this one?
I left my notes in the other room, but I'll at least start off. We did reach out to Cortland Reuse Recycle, and wanted to see if they were interested in going through the buildings. At this time, they don't have the resources to do that. They appreciated the offer, but they just don't have the facilities to store the stuff they might pull out. So they sent an email over to Ithaca to see if they would be interested. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I don't think we'll do a full demo like they did over by the airport building because they actually charge for that, but they might do what's called a soft go through, which would reduce the amount of stuff that we would send to the landfill if that happens. I have not heard back from them yet though on that.
Good idea.
So.
And then, so we also, since we're in discussions with NICEAG on that river remediation, we figured it was a good time to kind of put the screws to them to get some sort of formalized agreement to use that piece of property between the old Budget Inn and the
History Center.
Harder proper. So right now it's just kind of a gravel lot, and I had tried a couple years ago to get somewhere with that and didn't. But now, of course, they need to rent the Budget Inn site from us for the remediation. So we brought it up again, and they got approval. So we have a choice. They'll do like a 99-year lease for $1 or whatever. It can either be paved, and we would have to pay for the paving, but they would upkeep. They would do the upkeep. Or we can do grass, but if we do grass, it has to be at least a foot of topsoil put over the top of it. And then it's going to be a DEC process to go through that. I think probably in my mind, it makes more sense to make it the parking lot for the park and the pavilion. I think, I'd like to see a pavilion where the Budget Inn site is. And so that would make sense for a parking lot. And then, we would just continue the path through the parking lot. So we'll have to figure out what the cost of that will be at some point, but that'll all be part of the project costs that we have, part of the grant. So hopefully it'll cover most of it. Probably do a lot of in-kind work on it ourselves, to offset what we have to contribute as part of the grant as well. Any other?
I like the paving. I like the paving idea because if we have to do snow removal, easier to do that on pavement than gravel. Easier to stripe parking spaces for people.
Yeah, and it's not
also
big.
Just wanted to.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to. So for our residents though, this summer you're gonna see a lot of stuff down there. We probably won't have the park ready to go until at least 2022 because this year NICEAG is going to be doing the remediation. They're going to fence off large portions there, so we're not going to have access to the Budget Motel site at all. And then of course we still have to demo the 2 buildings. So this summer is probably just going to be a summer of demolition and construction.
Yep.
En route to 2022.
And just to clarify, you said it was the property between the Budget Inn and what was the second property or the second?
The Harder property.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There's a gravel
transmission
lot. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's a perfect size too for a parking lot for a pavilion there. And then that would give us a third pavilion within the village that we could rent out for events and graduation parties, etc. Right there on the river would be nice.
And it's associated with the Homeville Museum almost, so
yeah,
there could be a kind of a tie-in. So I like it.
Yeah.
What do you need?
No. Well,
okay.
we don't need anything right now, I don't think, because
Just discussion.
Yep. Just kind of put you guys in. And I'll kind of throw out another thing. I did email. I think I emailed. I don't know if. No, I didn't email all of you. As part of the, I forget what they're calling it now, the next stimulus round, there are going to be direct payments to local governments. They have not figured out how much the village will get because
I have an estimate already.
you have an estimate.
Yep, 680,000 to the Homer town. It does not specify the village.
No, right. So yeah, that's how much the town gets, but the village gets a percentage of that based on how many residents of the town live in the village.
Right.
So
About
it's gonna
half.
be, yeah, it's going to be significantly less. So I'm saying let's plan on 250, 300 tops. But that is money that we can look at putting towards the solar project and the salt sheds. Part of our in-kind that are part of our matching funds that we have to use on some of the other grants like the dam removal, Little White Church, stuff like that. I think this is, these big influxes, one-time influxes of cash you don't want to use as for operating funds. You need to use them for projects.
Right.
So it'll come at a good time. I'm not sure when we'll actually know how much or when we're going to get it. Because also, don't forget, Tim, we will get a portion of Cortlandville, right?
And
Yeah.
I was going to say Cortlandville's is obviously much higher.
Yeah, so we would need to know how many residents in the village are Cortlandville residents.
Cortlandville's looking at 890,000.
Yeah, but we don't have that many residents, so
We'll be a much smaller percentage of them.
I don't think we're going to get nearly as much as either of the towns get, which to me is insane since we provide a lot more services than a town provides. But in their wisdom.
And then we wouldn't get anything from the county itself, right?
Not unless they were in a sharing mood, and I tend to sharing mood.
But there's nothing to say that they're earmarked already, right?
No.
And they're looking at like 9.8 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll bail out the county quite a bit, and hopefully help us get back on track on some things. So anyway, that was some good news that came in this week. I just wanted to share. I wish I could share the exact amount with you, but it's still unknown. It's due to the way the census is computed, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I asked Schumer's office. They didn't have the answer, and I got the official document, and it also doesn't have the answer. It says it to be determined for villages. So
was what you got the American Rescue Plan New York State and local aid explainer, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer?
That would be it.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah. So scroll down and read the little thing about the villages.
Let's see.
On page 2 or 3.
So let's see. Okay, so please note what this means is that the village and town governments will be receiving a direct allocation of federal assistance as intended by the legislation, but village amounts are not included in the breakdown because of the complications of calculating those amounts until a process is put in place to divvy up funds between overlapping governments. The town amount listed in the breakdown does capture the village amount, as the town dollar amount reflects the entire population of the town, which will include the villages. Identification of eligible governments and distribution of assistance across units with overlapping populations will be decided by the Department of Treasury in implementation.
Simple, right?
Yep. And they
Back
do,
to the napkin.
they do specify eligible uses of funds by state and local governments as costs associated with responding to COVID-19, to support workers performing essential work during COVID-19, to cover revenue losses caused by COVID-19, and to make necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. Funds may not be used by states or localities to cover the costs of pension funds. States may not use funds to offset a reduction in taxes.
So that's pretty broad. That last little section there kind of gives us a little bit of free reign to do, especially the water and sewer. I mean, we can
put it toward the water.
We could put it right towards the water project, so we'll look into it some more when it comes in, because I think they'll probably clarify a little more what we can do. So, all right, let's keep rolling here. The next up is review and approve the lease with NICEAG. Is this the lease? This is just the vendor setup process, right?
No, everything from the vendor setup to the lease was included.
All right. So I guess
Let me go on with you. So the
No, I'm
first
looking.
is the vendor setup. There's
Oh, I just want to get to the part where where it says how much NICEAG's paying us.
It was 2,000 a month for when they were on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's kind of what we guessed.
Yeah, it says access agreement. So
Huh.
if you go past the W-9s, it's there.
Right. Got it. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sure.
Again, money that we can put right into the park or whatever. So,
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
supposed to be down there 9 months on our section, so
yeah,
18,000, that buys a lot of shrubs and trees and sidewalks and benches and pavilion roofs and blah, blah, blah. I like it.
all right. So let's have a motion to vote on this. We just need
I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement.
Second.
Do we need to tie in the lease for the property?
I don't.
We don't have that yet. That
No,
was
I
just,
know.
yeah.
I know it's sort of, I know what Pat's thinking because it's what I basically said, which is that it's our leverage. And if we agree to this and sign it without that nailed down, we've lost our leverage. So,
Can we make it contingent upon?
How about a handshake from those guys that they will do it? If they need it right now, then a handshake with their, honorable,
I think all they need right now is all the vendor stuff set up. We can postpone the actual access agreement until the next meeting, until we hopefully have an MOU or some sort of a lease from them for that other property. So I'll go back to Fred and tell him, we just need a document saying that, we can use that other property and we'll approve them both at our next meeting.
Yep.
So, this would just be to vote to go ahead and be set up as a vendor for NICEAG.
all right.
I like that better.
I have a couple clarifying questions and I'm probably going to sound really dumb, but
There are no dumb questions.
just dumb questions or the dumb questions are the ones that aren't asked, or what people say, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
So going back on the linear park, so you mentioned that NICEAG's doing remediation. Is that more so I know we had talked last time about there being some environmental concerns. Is that to kind of secure the property there to make sure
This
that's environmentally sound?
Nope, this is actually, and it's a good question. It's just weird that these are happening at the same time. They're completely unrelated to each other.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to clarify because it sounds very similar in terms of funding and the lease and whatnot. So I'm trying to clarify the difference.
Yeah, this is a
between the two.
project that they need to do as part of the continued remediation from that was it coal oil plant?
Coal gasification
Coal
plant.
gasification.
Okay.
So they're gonna, basically, as Pat said, they're gonna block off half the river, dig out all the soil, put in clean soil, then block off the other half. But they need access to the river from our budget in property, which is part of our linear park. So we're renting them the budget in property for $2,000 a month while they remediate. And as part of all this, kind of put the squeeze on them to give us a lease on that parcel of land that's right in the middle of the linear park that we could not get any response from them on for years of trying to get some sort of a lease or just let them saying that we could use it for parking or whatever. So it all kind of has worked out perfectly all at the same time.
Okay, and you mentioned that the $2,000 would go towards funding to kind of alleviate pressure from the grant.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't
Good.
totally decided, but we have to do some matching funds from the village towards the grant. So I would think that that makes sense just to apply them to our share of the matching funds that we have to put in.
Okay, and my last question was, do you have a date to start demolition at this point?
But no, I don't think we do, because we're still waiting to see if Ithaca Upcycle wants to get in and grab some things. And I think Dan's not on, but he could tell us a little more about when the RFPs are going out. But that's through Toma Development is doing that for us.
Yeah, I know Dan's been talking with Tom, and he got information from Phil and Mike about what we need to put in for the demolition RFP. So,
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, we did approve. Did we get a motion to just to get set up as a vendor? Let's just do that again.
I made the motion to
Made it.
do that when you can negotiate,
Okay,
you know, the other terms as they go. So
got it. All right. We have a
I'll
second.
second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. All right. The next step is there's a banner, child abuse awareness banner application that's come across, and they would like to put a banner across Main Street for some portion of April to be determined. So we just need to approve that.
who's the banner for?
Oh,
Child abuse prevention.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. I'm for it.
all right. So we have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay.
And just so we're talking about banners right now, if there's anybody else that's listening in, banner requests need to come to the village office. So the village office can do the permit, and then we can schedule, and then it comes to the board for approval, so that we're not tasking our fire department or asking them to, I mean, they're kind enough to put the banners up and down. They don't need to deal with the other stuff. That's what our office is for. And if you have a banner that you left there, come get it.
All right. Finally, approving a template letter for our employees, because as of today, government employees are eligible to get vaccinated. I went and got mine last night. It was ridiculous. I figured, hey, who's going to go at 3:15 in the morning? Well, there were 600 people in front of me. And I stood in line for over 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was packed. It was, yeah, so all night.
For St. Patrick's Day up at
So-
there.
Hal,
Yeah,
it's actually effective March 17th for government facing employees. So only those that work with the public.
yeah, but I read that as any of our employees, because they all do at some point in some way.
Oh, yeah. I
Also-
just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
you knew the dates and why.
Yeah, and also when I went yesterday, they didn't really proof me much. They wanted to see that I had a reservation, and they wanted to see my identification and my driver's license, and they asked me, do I fit any of these 3 criteria? And I said yes, and they said okay. So I had all the proof with me, but they didn't really. So they're just more interested in getting people vaccinated than they are in making this difficult. So we have a draft letter that Tanya sent out to everybody, so we just need to approve that so that we can let our employees use it so they can start getting vaccinated.
Make the motion to approve
I'll
it.
make a motion to, I'll second. Ed and Kevin beat me to it already. Holy cow.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then comment. Oh,
Well,
Wait,
you got
wait,
approved treasurer
hey,
and account
yeah.
clerk. as trustees on the Edward Jones, don't we?
Oh, I went right on by it. Sorry about that. Approve. Now we need a motion to approve the treasurer and account clerk as the trustees on the Edward Jones account for the cemetery.
I'll make a
make
motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. All right. Comments by board members. Let's go around the horn. We'll start with Kevin.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank all the village residents for supporting not only my business, but all the local businesses throughout this pandemic. And I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and just hoping that, somehow when we come out of this, everybody is in a better place, and they continue to support local businesses.
I hope so too. Tim.
I was actually just going to talk about the money that possibly will be coming the.
Oh, I stole your thunder.
That's all right.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem. That's why I was so prepared.
Ed.
So where are LED lights? You said they missed it again?
Oh yeah, they were supposed to have delivered them in February. So
Yeah, I remember. That's why,
Yeah.
They should
gonna
be
reach out.
installing right now.
What,
So,
Tim?
Tim, you're gonna crack the whip on them again, guy?
I'm going to try, but I heard if it's the same contractor, which I believe it still is, I know that they're working currently in Utica.
Which contractor?
D&M.
Oh, D&M. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they're just way behind in general. But I'm going to pressure them and see, because like I said, we were supposed to be done by now.
Yeah.
And this is about the fourth time I've said we were supposed to be done by now over the last couple of years. So
A little bit behind.
Also, possibility of getting, of course, there's people who are for and against it, but so we ought to have a discussion for putting a camera up for our village hall. Maybe not looking at the people, but at least who comes in the door in case there's any issues. There haven't been, thank God.
yeah, I think
It's a simple thing if we get all that nice internet and everything.
they're so cheap, and I would say, yeah, we don't want them. We just would want them on the entrances.
We don't want a Big Brother thing.
No.
All right,
Ed,
that's it.
that,
Yeah.
Ed, that was covered at the last town board meeting. They're going to do it at the entrances. So they're looking into doing that to catch people coming and going. That's it on the exteriors.
Good.
Oh, that's
Good idea.
great. Yeah.
They're super easy.
I
So
like it.
I'm just
right.
waiting for spring. I'm going nuts here.
Well, it's supposed to warm up pretty good, so but we'll still get another blizzard at some point. Pat.
Okay, so tying in with what Ed was saying about the cameras, mentioned that we are doing not a cost sharing, but the town we got a memorandum of understanding to let them use our FiOS because we have excess bandwidth and they really don't use that much. So as part of a shared municipal agreement, they're going to have some cost savings on that. So that's saving taxpayers money. The other thing too is I'm on the bridge committee with the town, and Fred gave an update that one of the options that had been looked at to replace the Pine Street Bridge, or was it Wall Street Bridge, was that the East River Crossing Bridge needed to be replaced. And that is a historical bridge in its own right. And Fred was going to look to see maybe they could use a span there and replace the Wall Street Bridge. But that option is now entirely off the table because the East River Crossing Bridge is a historical bridge, and SHPO has said that you cannot adjust the length of it in any way, shape, or form, which then makes it way too big for our needs. So that course of action is off the table.
Hummer.
Yeah. Talked about the cameras, talked about that. I would like to, did everybody, all the trustees get a chance to look at your list, your village project list? And are you good with that?
I guess I didn't look at it.
You did look, you made edits and screwed it all up and sent it to me, Ed.
Okay, senior moment.
Because what I was thinking is because we do the Happening in Homer and we've got the Homer News every other week. We could probably each say what we've signed on to do, and then we can give an updated status every now and then. So that would help us with our planning for both the Happening in Homer and the Homer News, and help keep our residents informed about what's going on with the 30+ projects that we've got divvied up between the 5 of us. So,
All right. Anything
and
else?
I'll even volunteer Ed to go first.
Ed hasn't
No,
been on
no response, Ed?
I didn't print the list off. I don't even know what I'm responsible
I'll
for
resend
anymore.
it to you.
All right.
You haven't
I
gone
will
on
do
the
that
record
later.
yet, have you?
I'll volunteer to go first if necessary. And then the last thing is, I just wanted to mention, I know we had, I think originally noticed our org meeting to be tonight, but with everything going on and Dan being under the weather, we decided to push it to the end of the month. And I hope I didn't steal your thunder on that one, Hal.
Nope, you didn't. Yeah, it's just there's we had a few more things that we needed to tidy up, and Dan took ill today, so we're just going to postpone the org meeting. All right, is that it, Pat?
That was all I had.
Dante, do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Then Don, any questions?
Nothing here.
All right. Then per New York State Public Officers Law, Article 7, Section 105, we need to go into executive session to talk about, hold on, I have the agenda. Legal issue.
I'll make a motion to go to executive.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Thank you, everybody. I will stop recording. Recording.